Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new live stream. This is Tausif Anam. This is my channel. This channel is about social and political issues, both domestic and international. So if you are joining me tonight, thank you so very much. I know it's Friday night, and Friday nights, you never know how many people are going to be tuning in. So if you are here, I appreciate you very, very much. Ken is here. Ken, thank you for being here. I'm probably going to wait for a minute or two for more people to join. Kushi writes, is it Kushi? Kushi writes, I voted Trump. Again, great. I voted for Trump again too, because I voted for Trump in 2016 and 2020 and in 2024. Okay, who else is here, my friends? As you are tuning in, please introduce yourself in the live chat, and I will be paying attention to the live chat window as well as, as well as looking for your questions and comments. I'm going to have a poll question for you tonight, okay? Kushi writes, love your broadcast. Thank you. Okay. Let's see who else is here. Okay. Okay, more viewers are coming in. All right, wonderful. Okay. All right, let me start the poll. All right. So the question is, will GOP U.S. Senate candidate Mike Rogers defeat Democrat Senate candidate Elissa Slotkin in Michigan? Hold on. I have to rephrase it a little bit. Okay, maybe I'll ask it a different way. Who will be the winner of the U.S. Senate race in Michigan? Who do you think? Okay, who do you think will be the winner of the U.S. Senate race in Michigan? Stay here, my friends. I've got a question for you. Republican candidate Mike Rogers, Democrat candidate Elissa Slotkin. Okay, Republican candidate Mike Rogers, Democrat candidate Elissa Slotkin. Who do you think will be the winner of the U.S. Senate race in Michigan? I started the poll. I have started the poll. My friends, please vote in the poll. And don't forget to like this video. Please like this video, okay? There's a U.S. Senate race. In Michigan, and I'm going to talk about it. But before that, I would like to know who you think is going to win. Okay. Jet is here. Hello, Jet. Good to see you. MGA is here. That is wonderful. Lots of viewers here tonight. I'm going to get started here. But before that, I want to see how many people are responding. All right. Okay. All right. Let me get started, my friends. Terry is here. Hello, Terry. Always good to see you. John Drake is here. I have a very important question tonight. Who do you think will be the winner of the U.S. Senate race in Michigan? Republican candidate Mike Rogers, Democrat candidate Elissa Slotkin. So please respond to that, okay? Turbo is here. Hello, Turbo. Good to see you. So, my friends, as we get closer to the election day, the anticipation is increasing. And this is real. Each day we're getting closer and closer to election day 2024. And we know what's on the other side. We know what's on the other side. It's the winner. It's the winner. Who's going to be the winner? That we don't know. We know it's either going to be Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. But who is the winner? Who is going to be the winner? We do not know yet. There are many factors, my friends. There are many signs, many observations that indicate different things. It's very, very confusing right now. Very, very confusing. Biscuit is here. Hello, Biscuit. Are you here for the first time, Biscuit? My friends, you gotta like this video. As soon as we start, you have to hit the likes so that we can reach more people. The more you like, the more chances there are that this video will be appearing in front of a larger audience. So please like, help me reach more people. I appreciate that very much. Terry has some thoughts about the U.S. Senate race in Michigan. Terry is writing, I hope Slotkin doesn't win. Terry, I feel the same way. I hope Slotkin does not win. I hope Mike Rogers wins. But I'm doing a poll to figure out how many people think it's going to be Mike Rogers, how many people think it's going to be Slotkin. So far, it appears that 80% of those who responded are saying it's going to be Mike Rogers, okay? So, my friends, it is very, very confusing when we try to make predictions about the 2024 presidential election. Now I'm talking about the presidential election. You know who I support. If you have been watching my channel, then it's very obvious to you who I support, okay? If you don't know that yet, you can write it in the chat window. You can write, hey, I don't know who you're voting for. Okay, Sarah is writing, are you Bangladeshi or Indian? I am Bangladeshi. I am not Indian. I am Bangladeshi. Originally born and raised, but now I'm a proud American citizen. So born and raised in Bangladesh, came to the United States as a legal immigrant, became a naturalized U.S. citizen. So originally from Bangladesh, now a proud American citizen. Thank you. Okay, so my friends, you know who I support. I have already voted. I voted early, and I voted in person. I don't like the whole mail voting thing, okay? I know for some people that may be the better option. Okay, if it's available to you, do it if you want to. But I like to vote early, but I like to vote in person, not by mail. William Miller is here. Hello, William. But I always keep saying there's no way for one person to confidently guarantee and to say with absolutely 100% certainty, with complete certainty, what the outcome of the election is going to be. You know, we don't know that. We have our hopes, we have our expectations, we try to make some predictions, but even the, best and the finest pollsters can be wrong. So there's no way for us to know who the winner is going to be. We just follow our hopes and expectations, okay? My friends, when I see the high turnout in heavily blue county of Dane here in Wisconsin, that suggests perhaps heavy Democrat voter turnout. And I'm talking about Dane County, Wisconsin. If you don't know where Dane County is, if you don't know anything about Dane County, then feel free to ask me and I'll try to answer. Dane County is in south central Wisconsin. It's where I live. It's a very, very blue county, heavily blue county. And so when I see high voter turnout in Dane County, it suggests that there's high Democrat voter turnout. But then you can also look at the overwhelming number of people waiting in line to attend a Trump rally in Milwaukee, just 90 miles from here. And that suggests that Trump has the momentum. So if you look at voter turnout in Dane County, you might think, oh, the Democrats are out there voting early. But then you look at Milwaukee, which is also heavily blue. It's a very, very big area, Milwaukee. But you see how many people are standing in line, thousands of people standing in line, waiting to see Donald Trump at a rally. And then that tells you that there's strong enthusiasm, strong momentum in favor of Trump. Okay? And so, my friends, there's no way to tell what's going to happen, especially in Wisconsin, which is a battleground state. But about Trump rally, I can tell you one thing. I can tell you one thing about Trump rally. Lots and lots of people, they wait for hours and hours and hours and hours. People wait for hours to see Donald Trump. People wait in line for hours, no matter what weather, whether it's a warm day, whether it's a chilly day, people stand in line for hours to get to the venue, to get inside the venue to see Donald Trump. And this kind of passion suggests that Trump will win. It gives me hope that Trump will win, and I am hopeful. But then you look at the Democrats, they are moving forward with all their power, with all their might, whatever resources they have available. The Democrats are using it. They are moving forward at full speed. Okay, they don't, I mean, when you look at the Democrats' policy ideas, when you look at what kind of things they support, it's absolute nonsense. But the Democrats are trying to push forward with whatever campaign ideas and resources they have. They're doing all kinds of events. They're doing, they've got their like Democrat celebrity speakers out there campaigning for Kamala. So whatever resources they have, whatever help they have, they're making full use of all that stuff. Okay. And so the Democrats, I mean, just look at some of the big names in the Democrat Party: Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Bill Clinton. They are all trying to help Kamala Harris. And then that doesn't mean that we don't have big names on our side. No, we have lots and lots of big names, okay? And if you saw Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden, you saw many of those big popular names. You saw Elon Musk, right? You saw Elon Musk on stage in Butler, Pennsylvania. You saw Elon Musk on stage at the Madison Square Garden. You saw Hollywood Hulk Hogan, right? You saw Hulk Hogan and so many other people. You know, I'm not even mentioning the high-profile political figures on the Republican side, okay? Like really superstar senators and members of Congress. So the Democrats have big names on their side who are supporting Kamala. They are campaigning for Kamala. They are trying to increase voter turnout in favor of Kamala. I mentioned Obama, I mentioned Clinton. But then on the Republican side too, we have lots and lots of support. So it's really hard to tell what the final outcome is going to be. And one thing that I must remind you, one thing that I'm going to remind you, you see how the powerful labor unions refused to endorse anyone this time. I'm not talking about all the unions. Obviously, some unions made endorsements, but you look at the Teamsters, you look at the firefighters union, okay? They refused to endorse anyone in this cycle, in this election cycle. And that suggests that Kamala Harris is the one who's falling behind. Okay? Kamala Harris is falling behind and not getting the kind of support that Democrats usually get from labor unions. So really hard to know what's going to happen. Endorsements matter. Endorsements do matter. But then at the end of the day, it is the individual voter and millions of individual voters who decide, who go to the polling location. They've got the ballot in hand. They pick their favorite names on the ballot. That's really what matters, okay? Endorsements may help influence some undecided voters. Endorsements may help increase turnout. But at the end of the day, whoever you feel like voting for, the moment that you've got the ballot in hand, okay, that's what matters. That is what matters, okay? I mean, let's say you've got somebody in mind, but you're not 100% sure, then you walk into the polling location, and then you are standing in line, then you get your ballot, and it's time for you to fill up your ballot. Are you going to have a change in mind? Are you going to have second thoughts? Are you going to walk in there with a name in mind and then end up voting for someone else? I mean, for a lot of people, it's not going to be the situation because maybe you have strong feelings either for Kamala Harris or for Donald Trump. But there are many voters out there who are undecided, and sometimes they split the votes. That happens. I urge people to vote for Republicans up and down the ballot, straight Republican ticket. That's what I always emphasize. But then there are people, and we've seen it, even in Wisconsin in past elections, we've seen how people may vote for the Republican for U.S. Senate and then the Democrat for the governor's race. It can happen. I'm just giving you an example. So is it possible that a voter may go and vote for the Republican candidate for U.S. president and then the Democrat candidate for a congressional race or vice versa? I mean, it's possible. It can happen. It's about the human mind. It is about the individual voter and what that voter wants to do. So there's no way to predict. It's not always a straight Democrat ticket. It's not always a straight Republican ticket. There are people who go crisscross. They'll vote for one office at the top of the ticket. Maybe they'll vote for Republican, then they'll vote for Democrat for a different office, then they'll vote for a Republican for a different office. It is possible. It does happen. It does happen. It might not make sense to you, right? I mean, when I think about the ballot, and I already voted, I see Donald Trump, and I choose Donald Trump's name. That's what I did. I voted for Trump. And then I look at the U.S. Senate race, and I see Eric Hovde's name and Tammy Baldwin's name. Eric Hovde is the Republican, Tammy Baldwin is the Democrat. And the way my mind works is, hey, I want Donald Trump to be in the White House. I want him to be in the Oval Office. And I want Donald Trump to have strong allies in the U.S. Senate. And I want the Republicans to regain the majority in the US Senate. So what do? I vote for the Republican candidate. I vote for Eric Hovde. That is what I did. But not everyone may feel that way. Depending on what state you are in, who are the other candidates running for various offices in 2024, people may split their votes. It does happen. So, really hard to predict, really hard to figure out what people are thinking. Okay, let's see some comments here. By the way, my friends, 21 likes for this video so far in 20 minutes. How about you help me get to a 50? That would be great. Please like and subscribe. I would appreciate that very, very much. And do not forget to vote in the poll that I have got going on here in the live chat window. So who else is here? Amanda is here. Maria Delgado is here. Jason is here. Audrey. Who else? Lots of people. Spencer. Okay, wonderful. Please send me your questions and your comments. I would appreciate that. Okay, I will pause and I'll try to respond to your questions and comments, and then I will continue with what I have to say. Amanda likes my hair. I got a haircut today, so my hair is quite short. Not as short as I usually do, but shorter than what it was yesterday. So thank you for appreciating my hair. Okay. All right. So by the way, you see all the gray hair? It's politics. This is what politics does to you. You could say it's genetic also, but really part of it is politics, because the more involved you are in politics, the more your brain's working, the more you're thinking, the more you're worrying, the more anxious you are, the more excited you are, the more happy you are, the more stressed out you are. What it all does is it'll give you some gray hair, okay? All right, my friends. The future of the world depends on this election. And when I say that, I'm really curious to know how many of you agree with me when I say that. The future of the world depends on the 2024 election in the United States. I mean, I will explain to you, and some of you may say, oh, that's too bold of a statement. That is not the case. The future of the world does not depend on this election. But I really think, not just the future of the United States, not just the future of the American people, but the future of the entire world depends on the 2024 election in the United States. All right, I see some people agreeing with me. Some people are not. Some people are not. That's okay. You know, I always expect a mixed reaction, so it is perfectly fine. I see some people agree with me and some don't. All right. So Amanda writes, yes, the world needs Trump. Yeah. William Miller writes, Earth for Trump. Okay. The future of the world depends on this election. The whole world is watching. The whole world is watching. Claudia, thank you for being here. Frank, thank you for being here. And Suzanne, thank you so much. The whole world is watching, okay? We are waiting for November 5th. I am waiting for the moment when the first polls will close, okay? I mean, you know, every hour, if you're watching live coverage, whatever network you like, okay? You can watch Fox News or CNN or MSNBC, whatever channel you like, you can watch it, all right? It's your decision. But as you are watching election night coverage, you are going to see that the polls close The polls close. Hold on. I gotta do something here. All right. John Drake writes, I agree with you 100%, Asif. Great. I just had to put a user in timeout. Okay. So as you are watching election night coverage, you are going to see that the polls are closing. And usually the anchors will announce, they'll say, oh, the polls just closed in this state. The polls just closed in, some other state. There's something in my eye. The polls just closed. I don't know what's in my eye. All right. Excuse me for that. And so there's that anticipation that builds up. And I start feeling it in the morning on election day. And as we approach the afternoon, the tension builds up, the excitement builds up. And then in the evening, when the first polls close, you are waiting for those calls, right? The different networks, they call the race, they say, oh, this candidate has won this race, this state, so on and so forth. I mean, House races, Senate races, the presidential race, the excitement just builds up. And I am eagerly waiting for November 5th. I know millions and millions of people in the United States are waiting for November 5th. And there are so many people across the world, they are watching what's going to happen in the US election. They are. When I say the whole world is watching, it's not an exaggeration. Some of you may say, oh, you are exaggerating. Stop doing it. No, I am not exaggerating. It is the truth. It is the truth. And the whole world is watching who the American people will select as the next president. And so, my friends, depending on who gets sworn into office in January, just so people understand, November 5th, election day, election night, hopefully we find out. I don't know if it's going to be a long night or what. Are we going to go beyond midnight? I don't know. But hopefully soon we find out who the president is going to be. And depending on who wins, I mean, whoever wins is going to get sworn into office in January, right? And so, depending on who gets sworn into office in January, we will know what the foreign policy will be to address the Ukraine-Russia issue. That's just one issue that people are looking at. Okay, what's going to be the Ukraine-Russia situation? Depending on who gets sworn into office in January, the foreign policy towards Ukraine-Russia may be determined. Right, the Ukraine-Russia war. Very unfortunate that war is taking place. And what will be the U.S. position towards that whole situation? Our country has sent billions of dollars to Ukraine. We know that. Some people support it, some don't. People have a variety of opinions on this. If you have opinions, you can share with me in the live chat window. But that's a question that the American people want the answer to, okay? What's going to be the U.S. foreign policy towards Ukraine-Russia? Okay? And Kamala Harris may have a certain policy. Donald Trump may have a very different policy, very different approach. And so it all depends on the election. So not only are American people waiting to know who the president is going to be and what the foreign policy is going to look like going into next year, but there are many people around the world, in that part of the world, in Europe and in Asia, they are waiting to see what next year is going to look like in terms of foreign policy. And also, depending on whether Kamala Harris or Donald Trump becomes president, the policy regarding the Middle East conflicts will also be determined. What is going to be the US approach to addressing the tension in the Middle East? That also depends on who is going to be winning the presidential race. And there's more. I just mentioned Ukraine, Russia. I mentioned Middle East, but we can talk about South Asia. We can talk about Latin America. We can talk about European Union, EU, right? We can talk about the UN, right? Who's going to be the US ambassador to the United Nations? I mean, there are so many things that will be determined based on who wins on November 5th. Okay, who's going to be the winner? Hopefully, on the morning of November 6th, we will see the news headlines, and hopefully by then we know who the winner is going to be. And so, my friends, there's so much at stake. There's so much at stake, and that's why I say the whole world is watching. Let me see some comments here. Okay. Freshly, thank you, Freshly, for the wonderful compliment. I appreciate that. All right, let's see. Okay. Wagner writes Trump 2024. Great, thank you. Okay. Gray 59 is here. Gray writes, hello, Tassif. Thank you, Gray, for being here. All right. And so also look at what's happening at the southern border. And no, I'm not going into details about immigration issues because I frequently talk about it. I will talk about it again, but I want to point out this relationship that we have with Mexico. We have a trade relationship with Mexico. We do a lot of trade with Mexico. And we share a border with Mexico. And, people travel back and forth between Mexico and the United States. There are lots of American tourists who go to Mexico. There are Mexicans who come to the United States. And I'm just talking about the legal movement. I'm not talking about the illegal immigration right now. I'm talking about, the legal travel and tourism and all that takes place. Mexico is our neighbor, but there is tension in that relationship, obviously, because of the crisis at the southern border. So depending on who wins the presidential election, we will know more about what our relationship with Mexico will look like going forward. So everything depends on this election. Foreign policy depends on this election. So this literally is the most important election of our lifetime, and it is the most important election for the entire world. For the entire world. So, my friends, I want to talk about a couple of states. There are new updates every day. There are new developments every day. There are new poll numbers that are coming out every day. And so we have to look at the battleground states. When you look at the battleground states, there's no way to draw any conclusion. There's not a clear winner right now when you look at the different poll numbers, okay? It's neck and neck. It's neck and neck if you look at the polls. Some would say that neck and neck in the polls would usually mean that Trump is leading, okay? Because people look at 2016 and how Trump was way behind in the polls and Trump still won in 2016 against Hillary Clinton. And so people remember that. And when they think of 2024 and they see that Trump and Kamala Harris are neck and neck, they are almost tie, or just, there's razor thin margin between uh, Trump and Harris, in the polls, people think that Trump may actually be leading. Okay? Trump may actually be leading. That could be right. And I hope it is right. I hope that Trump is actually leading, but we do not know for sure. We just don't. Okay? So I know that there are multiple pathways for Donald Trump to get to 270 electoral college votes, and there are multiple pathways for Kamala Harris to get to 270 electoral college votes. I'm very optimistic about Donald Trump. I really am. I voted for Trump, like I said, in 2016, in 2020, and in 2024. I voted for Trump. He is my candidate. And I am optimistic that he's going to win. But really, there's no way to guarantee that. While Kamala Harris has this group that she has formed, and by the way, it is such a strange name. This group that she has, it's called Republicans for Harris. Have you heard of that? Republicans for Harris? Republicans for Harris. In short, I'm just gonna say it is like rhinos for Harris. I mean, those who are supporting Harris, most mainstream Republicans would call them rhinos. Okay, so Republicans in name only. But Kamala has this group called Republicans for Harris. But then Donald Trump has also received support and endorsement from very high-ranking and prominent Democrats, former Democrats. Can you give me some names? Just give me two names. Donald Trump received support from former Democrats. If you can name, yep, okay, RFK Tulsi. Absolutely. Those are the two names that I was thinking about, that I am thinking about. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard. Now, Tulsi Gabbard is a Republican now. She was a member of the Democrat Party. She was a Democrat congresswoman. She left the Democrat Party. For a while, she really did not have any party affiliation, but then she became a Republican. And she is supporting Donald Trump. And also Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is the son of Senator Robert F. Kennedy and the nephew of President John F. Kennedy. Okay, the name Kennedy, probably the biggest name when you look at like the different families, right? So I'm not just talking about former presidents, but I'm talking about the last names that that more than one prominent political figure had. So like the name Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, former president, Robert F. Kennedy, former senator, and then Robert F. Kennedy's son, RFK Jr., also a very prominent political figure. So the Kennedy name is extremely powerful. Then you've got the name Bush, obviously, George Bush Sr., and then George Bush, and then there's Jeb Bush. And also, another big name, obviously Clinton, another big name, obviously Obama. So these are the big names on both sides. These are the big names. And then the name Trump, right? These are the big names. regardless of political affiliation, these are the big names in politics. But Kennedy, the name Kennedy, may be, when you look at how many members of the Kennedy family have been involved overall in politics, it's probably the biggest name going back decades, right? And so Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has endorsed Donald Trump. Former Democrat RFK Jr. endorsed Donald Trump. This is probably one of the biggest endorsements. We can always talk about what some of the biggest, what are, like, you make a list of the biggest endorsements. Different people will come up with different lists. If you ask me, the most important endorsements that Donald Trump received, if you ask me, I will say RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, obviously, okay, former Democrats. Elon Musk, that is a major endorsement. Major endorsement, Elon Musk. And then the Muslim leaders in Michigan. That is also a very powerful endorsement. Okay? And then the Border Patrol Union. Okay, the Border Patrol Union endorsed Donald Trump. I mean, these are, and you are going to get different answers depending on who you talk to, but I think these are some of the biggest endorsements that Donald Trump received in this election cycle. Okay, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, the Muslim leaders in Michigan, and the Border Patrol Union endorsement. Really, it's very powerful. Okay. If you disagree with me, let me know. If you agree with me, let me know. Okay. I would appreciate that. Chris Hicks is here. Hello, Chris. Thanks for being here. AC Cruz is here. Thanks for being here, AC Cruz. Okay, let's see. And also, there's one more endorsement, I think. Let's not forget this. Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley's endorsement is also very powerful. You know why? Because Nikki Haley and Donald Trump, they were stuck in a very heated primary. Now, obviously, Donald Trump was far ahead. Nikki Haley was far behind. But still, there appeared to be a significant group of people, not the majority, nowhere near the majority, but still a significant number of people who continued to support Nikki Haley in the primary. Okay? And then it seemed to me, and this is my interpretation, that if Nikki Haley drops out, which she did, then where are these votes going to go? And so it was very important for Nikki Haley to come out and say that she's going to be voting for Donald Trump. If she would not have done that, then Nikki Haley supporters, I wonder which way they would go. Would they just sit at home and not vote? Would they still write in Nikki Haley's name? Or would they just say, all right, let's go vote for Trump? So it was something that needed to be done. Nikki Haley needed to come out and publicly say that she's going to vote for Donald Trump, because that would then convince her supporters to follow what she's saying and to vote for Trump. And she has done that. She has expressed her support for Trump, which I think is going to significantly help him. Because, even if, let's say in a state like Wisconsin, even if 20,000 Nikki Haley supporters decide that they're not going to vote for Donald Trump because they were supporting Nikki Haley, and Nikki Haley did not endorse Trump. She's not in the race. She didn't endorse Trump. And if those voters feel discouraged to vote just because Nikki Haley isn't there on the ballot, then those 20,000 votes could be the difference between, winning and losing. But when Nikki Haley came out and said she's going to vote for Donald Trump, it's a clear message to her supporters that, hey, it's time to unite. Okay, we believe in unity. Let's vote for Trump. So I'm glad Nikki Haley did that. And that's why I wanted to explain to you the significance of that endorsement. Okay. All right, my friends. So when you look at the battleground states, there's really no way to draw any conclusion. As I said, there are multiple pathways for Donald Trump to get to 270 electoral college votes, and there are multiple pathways for Kamala Harris to get to 270 electoral college votes. And we don't know who the winner is going to be at the end of the election night. We just don't. And so people are under a lot of stress, tremendous stress. Not just the people who are running for office, but the voters are under tremendous stress. The voters are feeling very anxious right now. Okay? I mean, there are people who cannot wait to find out who the winner is. Let's see some comments. Sassy is here. Hello, Sassy. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see some comments here. Okay. All right. I'm going to be... there's a viewer over here. I'm going to be hiding that person from this channel. Okay, blocked. I just blocked someone. The name starts with KHAW, and I can't even pronounce what that name is. Okay, so I blocked that person. Let me know if I did the right thing. Okay. People are actively trying to slow down this channel. People are actively trying to slow down this channel. Okay, haters out there who don't have better things to do, so they just come here and try to jam my live chat window with their stupid comments, and they try to create disruption. Emily says, I have something very important to report to you. Go ahead, Emily. Okay. All right. My friends, the more informed you are, the more stress there would be. The more you know, the more stress there is. Emily is writing about Pennsylvania. Emily, what exactly is going on in Pennsylvania? There's so much going on around the country. Maybe there's something that I don't know yet. So please share a link or something, a news article that I can read, okay? I would appreciate that. Ava is here. Okay, moving forward is here. Janet Arnold is here. Okay, Emily, I'm going to look into that. You're talking about provisional ballots and Supreme Court. I will look into it. Thank you for sharing that. Give me 1 second. By the way, my friends, I need 100 more subscribers to get to 7,000. to get to 7,000, okay? 100 more subscribers. Is it going to happen tonight? I do not know. Um, it's moving pretty slow today, okay? So I don't know. I mean, Friday night, I don't know if the haters are reporting my channel again. It's moving quite slow today. We are 50 minutes into the live stream and only 3,100 people have watched this video so far. Usually by this time, it usually goes past 10,000. It usually goes past 10,000. And so, when you see some of the disruption in the live chat, Friday night, the haters are active again. Okay, who knows? Maybe the haters are just hanging out together. Okay, maybe they're hanging out together. They're drinking beer or they're eating food, whatever. Maybe they just all waited for me. So as soon as I start the live stream, they are going to report. Maybe that's what's happening. These haters, they're not working alone. It's a band. It's a group. The haters report my channel. It's a coordinated effort. Okay, that's what it is. I mean, I understand it very well. I understand what's happening. Okay, they don't like the fact that so many people are watching my videos. In fact, one of my videos got 57,000 views, a live stream. Another video got more than 40,000, maybe 46. I don't remember the exact number. And over 30,000, over 20,000. And so the haters, they don't like it. The haters don't like the fact that I'm reaching so many people through this channel. They don't. And what they do is they don't do it alone. There are multiple people and they get together. It's my assumption, it's my guess, and I have strong reasons to make the guess that I made, that they actively report my channel. And this Friday night happens to be one of the days when I see slow rise in the number of views. Okay, I think the haters are hanging out together, and they don't all have to be in the same state. I'm not saying they're literally hanging out, in the same living room, but they communicate. They communicate with each other. They all get together. Maybe they are in different time zones, but they all coordinate and they report my live stream and they try to shut down my channel. And that's why I continue to ask you for your support. So as soon as my live stream starts, if you just hit the like, keep liking this, then we overcome their efforts to slow down this channel. Okay. Chris, thank you for supporting this channel. Jason, thank you so very much. Okay. All right. Jason says your videos are excellent. Thank you, Jason. Jason, what state you are in? Please let us know. Jet writes, Tossif, I seen it in other YouTube live streams that support Trump. There's been shenanigans going on lately with the views. Exactly. There are coordinated efforts. I understand that. There are coordinated efforts. As soon as I start a live stream, these people, they report my channel, false reports, and they try to suppress the views. As soon as I start the live stream, if we get let's say in 10 minutes we get 20, 25, 30 likes, then I have seen that we can somehow overcome their efforts to slow us down. Especially Friday night, and also Sunday night happens to be a slow one. Now, it's not because Sunday night people are going to bed early. No, that's not the case. I think Friday night, these haters have more time. I don't know if they do enough work or whatever their professional status is. But usually people have more time on their hands on Friday night and on, Sunday night. And so that's what they do. They get together or they coordinate in some way, shape, or form, and they try to slow down this channel. And each day that I do a live stream that I'm not getting enough views, it's a day that, an opportunity to reach like 20,000 people um, is it's just sort of lost. Okay. Now, doesn't mean that if I don't get enough views, I wrap up the live stream. That's not the case. Okay. I have a lot to talk about. I will talk about that because this video will be available for replay. And you know what? Honestly, as I've said before, if there are only 10 people watching my live stream, those are the 10 people that I deeply care about. And I'm going to continue my live stream for them. Okay, those who are here, 5 people, 10 people. I'm not just going to end my live stream and leave just because there are not enough people. That is wrong. But my message has been clear that the reason why we want to reach more people is because we are at a critical juncture. If there is one undecided voter out there who can probably make up the mind after listening to my live stream, that's one voter I want to reach. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are people out there who are probably looking for information from a wide variety of sources, trying to make up their mind who to vote for. The more views I get, the higher the likelihood that I will be able to get to those undecided voters. And if I can get to them, maybe the facts that I share will help them make up their mind, and maybe they'll vote for Trump. Maybe they'll vote for Republicans down ballot. Emily is writing toss-if, toss-if, toss-if. Emily, do you have a question? So that's why, my friends, I need your help to reach as many people as possible. Now, I have said one thing very, very clearly. This channel is not a 2024 election-based channel. This is not a limited term thing. I have been podcasting since 2020. I have been publishing YouTube videos for years. Okay, although I really started focusing on publishing YouTube videos last year, but you can go back like 5 years, 6 years, you'll see videos on my channel. But last year, I started really focusing on publishing videos. And this year, I started doing live streams. And so my live streams will continue. I know some people out there, they ask me, oh, what are you going to do on November 6th after your candidate loses? Well, first of all, my candidate hopefully is not going to lose. Trump is not going to lose. But regardless of the outcome of the election, my live streams will continue. My channel will continue. If I am in good health, if I've got the power to speak, if I've got the brain that functions properly so I can think, if God continues to bestow upon me the blessing so I can continue to share my thoughts and express my views, I will continue speaking. I will continue speaking. Okay? It's God's decision what kind of a condition I'll be in. Will I be in good health? Will I be in the right mindset to continue doing what I'm doing? If the answers are yes, then I will continue. Because freedom of expression, freedom of speech is not tied to any particular election. We have freedom of speech going beyond November 5th. And so, if somebody thinks, oh, your candidate's going to lose and you're going to hide your face. No, absolutely not. I mean, let me be very clear. Trump wins, I will continue live streaming. That's my goal. The rest depends on God. If Trump does not win, I will continue live streaming. I have been involved in politics long enough, okay? And politics, it's not just the time I spent in politics or what I learned from being politically involved. It's not just that. Politics is in my blood. Politics is in my blood, okay? From my maternal side, from my mother's side, politics is in my blood. So this is my natural territory. When I'm talking politics, it comes naturally. Okay? I didn't have to train myself to say the things that I say. It's what comes from within. Okay? Um, Chris Hicks writes, Trump will win and this channel will be even greater. Well, Chris, thank you. It is that kind of compliment, comment, that helps me move forward. It gives me energy. Okay, it gives me energy. So thank you. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that. So all those people who are hoping that starting Wednesday I'm not going to be live streaming, I mean, trust me, Trump wins, I'm going to be here live streaming. If Trump does not win, am I going to hide my face? No. Okay? No. I will continue doing what I do. I will continue doing what I do. Okay? And so, I hope you will continue to support me. We are growing. On some days we are growing fast. On some days we are growing slowly. But we are growing. As a community, we are growing. And we will continue to grow. It is so important. We cannot allow the haters to win. That is something we cannot do. Okay? The haters they already caused significant damage to this live stream today. Okay? They've already caused significant damage to this live stream. They have somehow suppressed the views. But I will continue. And hopefully what you can do is, after this live stream is over, if you would just share the link to this live stream on Facebook or on X or on Truth Social, or if you have like an email list, okay, of family members or friends or, whatever, former classmates, if you would take a link for this video and share it on social media or email it to someone or text it to someone, that would be excellent. That would be great. I would appreciate that very, very much. Okay. So after this live stream ends, let's try to reach more people so they can watch the replay. And so, as I was saying, people are under tremendous stress right now. It seems like the more informed you are, the more stress you're gonna feel. There's a reason why people say ignorance is bliss. Those who don't pay attention, those who don't care about politics, they don't know what's going on. They don't know who's on the ballot. They don't know what date the election will be held. Those who don't keep track of anything, they're probably, at least in this regard, they're happy. Okay? They don't know what's going on. They don't know who's on the ballot. They don't know when the election is. They don't know what's at stake, and they can just hang out, worry-free, and relax. And whoever wins, they don't have any reactions. They're just happy. That kind of happiness in the long run can cause significant problems. Okay, because we, as human beings, we are supposed to learn. We are supposed to learn about our own selves. There's that saying, know thyself. We have to learn who we are. We have to understand our role in society. We have to recognize our God given talents and skills. We have to identify our weaknesses. We have to understand our purpose. We have to try to figure out, why did God send us to earth? What is it that we are supposed to do? How can we help make this world a better place? How can we create a better society? So, it all starts with understanding your own self, and then also understand your surroundings, understand what's happening in your neighborhood, understand what's happening in your village or your city, in your county, in your state, in your country. Understand what's happening around the world and how it affects you, and the actions that you take, how it affects others around you. So we have to constantly learn. We have to continue to seek knowledge. Okay? Um, and so that's why ignorance may be bliss, but only for a limited time. In the long run, if we continue to be ignorant, it hurts us, and it hurts the society as a whole. And so, for a while, the less you know about politics or what's happening during elections, the happier you might be in the short run. In the long run, it is extremely beneficial to be informed, and it is what we are supposed to be. We are supposed to be informed. We are supposed to seek information and knowledge and the truth. So, my friends, let's talk about the battleground states. Let's start with Wisconsin. Lots of people voting in Wisconsin by mail, in person. And I'll share with you uh, some numbers, okay? But you have to understand one thing. The numbers that I'm mentioning may already be old, because the numbers are changing every day, okay? The numbers may be, like when I say, these many number of ballots, these many number of people have voted early and in person, okay? In a few hours, that number is going to be changed, because it's a constant flow, right? So you can say 600 people voted early at this location. And in a few hours, it may be 650, it may be 750, 700, 800. So that number's changing. So understand that. But I will share with you the latest numbers that I collected from, obviously authentic news reports. Reportedly, about 83% of the 645,190 mail-in absentee ballots requested have been returned. So here in Wisconsin, 645,190 mail-in absentee ballots were requested. 83% of those ballots have been returned. And let me see. As of Friday morning in Wisconsin, more than 801,000 people had voted in-person absentee. Okay? So, mail-in absentee ballots, massive numbers being returned. In-person absentee voting, massive numbers, people are voting. It's very tricky. It is very tricky. By the way, a viewer is writing, some of your comments is ridiculous. I don't know what I said that you think is ridiculous. Okay, that message has been retracted. Okay? So maybe the viewer changed her mind. But really, if you think I said something that's ridiculous, what is it? What is it? Okay, my friends, it is very tricky to make a prediction based on absentee ballots. It could go either way. It could go either way. It could mean record turnout for Kamala Harris, or it could mean record turnout for Donald Trump. Now, when I see high turnout in Madison, Madison is the city in which I live. When I see high turnout, voter turnout in Madison, it might indicate support for Harris. It might indicate support for Harris. But that is not a given. That is not a given, okay? Just because there's high turnout in Madison, which is a very, very blue city, it doesn't necessarily mean high turnout for Kamala Harris. You know, what if I say that former Joe Biden voters are now switching and voting for Donald Trump? It can happen. Because there are many people who are sick of rising cost of living due to inflation. And so maybe they voted for Joe Biden in the past, but now they are voting for Donald Trump, right? Okay, a viewer is writing, why are they sending the ballots back? Well, they're sending the ballots back because that's what they're supposed to do. So, but when I say return the ballot, it just means, let's say you request a mail-in ballot. Okay, you get the mail-in ballot, you fill out the ballot, and then you send it back. So that's you returning the ballot. Okay, so that's what I mean. Okay, they're not returning the ballot as in like they're not saying we don't want the ballot. It just means that they got the ballot by mail. Maybe they did their signing and they're just sending it back. So they're voting, they're sending their votes in, they're sending their ballots in. Okay, Paul says I see, thanks. All right, thank you, Paul. Thanks for the question. Okay, obviously if something seems confusing, I'm happy to clarify, so I'm glad you asked. Okay. Jason's asking me, what is Milwaukee's turnout like? I don't know the numbers for Milwaukee, but I'm guessing there's going to be very high turnout. Okay. A viewer writes, are you still here? Is that a question for me, or is that a question for Amanda, whose screen name is I'm still here? Okay. Maybe it's not for me. All right. So when I see high turnout in Madison, it may not mean that it's a high turnout in favor of Kamala Harris. There may be voters who are switching. People who voted for Biden in 2020, but now they are going to vote for Trump. It is very, very possible. What if Democrat voters are coming out to vote for Donald Trump because they are sick of the border crisis, because they are sick of inflation? What if undecided voters made up their minds in favor of Trump, which is why there's high voter turnout in Madison? That is possible. And so I would say that in general, high turnout is a good thing. High turnout means people are exercising their right to vote, and that is a good thing. If people are coming out to vote, and if they are doing it early, it means that people are more engaged. It means that people are taking their voting rights seriously. So that is a good thing overall. Let's remember this, my friends. The Republicans in Wisconsin, they started this Bank Your Vote campaign. And I think it actually originated, I think it might have originated at the RNC, okay? So the Republican National Committee. But the Republicans have been advocating for this Bank Your Vote initiative, this Bank Your Vote campaign, to encourage people to vote early. Because life is uncertain. There are so many circumstances and situations and things that can happen on election day. What if You know, what if you wake up on election day and you're sick, you're not feeling well, you don't want to get out of bed, or maybe there's some family emergency or something else happens which prevents you from getting to your polling location to vote. You miss the opportunity to vote. So it is always a good idea to vote early. So this is what this Bank Your Vote campaign is in a nutshell. Like, bank your vote. Do it early. Better do it early. So there are many Republicans who are voting early. So when you see high voter turnout, it doesn't always mean that it's the Democrats who are coming out to vote. Even in a blue city like Madison, it might mean that Republican voters are coming out and voting early. So if the Republicans are taking this bank your vote campaign seriously, if they are taking this message seriously, then they are the ones voting early. And from what I can tell, because I know many Republicans, I've got a big Republican circle here in Wisconsin, and I know that people are voting early. People are voting early. Republicans are voting early. I am proud to be in a state that is the center of attention. Whenever people are talking about, not just like in the news here in the United States, but in the news in other countries, people are talking about Wisconsin. They are talking about Michigan. They are talking about Georgia and North Carolina and Pennsylvania and Arizona and Nevada. These are the battleground states. And people from all over the world are watching what's happening in the battleground states. Yeah, people, really. You know, I'm proud to be in a state that is the center of attention. And if you are in Michigan or in Georgia or in Pennsylvania or in Arizona or in Nevada or in North Carolina, you are probably feeling the same kind of excitement being in a battleground state. Now, I will tell you, I saw this in the news. Barack Obama is coming to Wisconsin this weekend. It's in the news. It's been reported that this weekend Barack Obama is going to be in Wisconsin to campaign for Kamala Harris. I think it's going to be on Sunday. He's supposed to be in Milwaukee. And, it's heated, this contest. Let me see some comments here. Hold on. Obama is coming to Milwaukee. And so when I look at the RCP average for Wisconsin pertaining to the presidential election, excuse me, my friends, my throat is dry. Excuse me. Emily writes, Emily is going to be in Milwaukee. Are you going to be in Milwaukee? Is that what you said? You're going to be in Milwaukee? Okay. All right. So Barack Obama is coming to Wisconsin. He's going to be campaigning in Milwaukee. And RCP average, the real clear polling average for Wisconsin, shows that Kamala Harris is at 48.4%. Trump is at 48.1%. So Kamala Harris is at 48.4%. Trump is at 48.4 versus Trump's 48.1. I mean, really, this is a tie. This is a tie. That's the RCP average for Wisconsin. I saw this in the news yesterday that in Georgia, now I'm moving from the discussion of Wisconsin to the discussion of Georgia. That's another battleground state. I saw in the news yesterday that in Georgia, approximately 50% of voters have already cast their ballots. And I'm glad to see that Georgia voters are taking this election very, very seriously. I got to share with you one thing, and I'm going back in the past a little bit. I cannot believe that Georgia now has 2 Democrat U.S. senators. Not too long ago, just a few years ago, in Georgia, there used to be 2 Republican U.S. senators. 2 Republican U.S. senators, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. Okay? 2 Republican U.S. senators in Georgia. And now there are 2 Democrat U.S. senators in Georgia. Okay? Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff. And so, how did this happen? I still ask myself, how did this happen? How did Georgia end up with 2 Democrat U.S. senators? They had 2 Republican U.S. senators. Now the state has 2 Democrat U.S. senators. How did that happen? How did that happen? So I have to point out one thing, my friends, and listen to this very, very seriously. By the way, let me see something here. All right, if you have not subscribed yet to my channel, please do so, okay? John Ossoff, U.S. Senator John Ossoff, is going to be up for re-election in the year 2026. Now, I know 2026 is still a couple years away, but he's going to be up for re-election, so that would be an opportunity in 2026. It would be an opportunity to regain a Senate seat in Georgia. You know, I'm always thinking ahead. I have been thinking about the year 2026. I have been thinking about the midterm election in 2026 for months already. I'm not talking about 2026 now. I have been thinking about 2026 for months. In fact, I also published a blog post on my website, tossifanam.net. This was months ago when I wrote about 2026 and the importance of looking ahead. And, you know, I published the blog post. It's time-stamped. You can go read it. And I know that I'm thinking about 2024 right now, but I'm also thinking about 2026. We have to look ahead. Here in Wisconsin, in 2026, there will be a gubernatorial election. The current Democrat governor, Tony Evers, here in Wisconsin, is going to be up for re-election in 2026. If he wants to run for re-election, if Tony Evers, Democrat Tony Evers, if he wants to run for re-election in 2026, then he's going to be running for re-election in 2026. But if he decides to retire, then there's going to be a primary on the Democrat side, and then there might also be a primary on the Republican side. That will be very interesting. And I hope to talk more about that, okay? We have to look ahead. We have to look at 2026. If Democrat Tony Evers runs for re-election, then we're going to have to figure out who's going to be running against Tony Evers in 2026 for the governor's office. And if Tony Evers retires, there's going to be a primary on the Democrat side. And of course, we're going to have to still figure out who is going to be running from the Republican side. Okay? And so what I'm going to do, my friends, hold on. I will share with you a link to that blog post that I wrote. we have to think about 2026. We have to think about what's going to happen in 2026 and who is going to be running from the Republican side in Wisconsin. The title of my blog post is Looking Beyond November 2024. What do Wisconsin voters want in 2026? I will share that link with you. And I will pin that message at the top of the live chat. All right. Okay. Emily writes, California will go Trump this year, ? Emily, I don't know. I am more hopeful about New York than California. I'm more hopeful about New York. I'm hoping New York will go for Trump. I hope New York will vote for Trump. Let's see. Emily writes, toss if Trump will win California, I think. Well, thank you, Emily. I appreciate that. Thanks. I hope Trump wins California. So I shared with you all the link to my blog post talking about looking beyond 2024. Looking at 2026, okay? Excuse me. So what I'm saying is we have to look at the future. Now, let's come back to Georgia. Let's talk about Georgia. The RCP average, the real clear polling average, shows that Trump is ahead in Georgia. That's what it shows. Trump is ahead in Georgia, which is quite natural. I don't know what went wrong in Georgia that we ended up with 2 Democrat U.S. senators, but I would assume going forward that Trump is going to win Georgia quite comfortably, okay? That's what I'm hoping for. Now, in Georgia, when you look at the RCP average, Trump is at 49.3%, Harris is at 46.7%, so Trump is clearly ahead. Now, there's one more thing that I'm going to discuss before I conclude this live stream. There's one more thing I'm going to be discussing. By the way, Freshly is writing, let's get Tossif to 7,000. Freshly, I would love to have 7,000 viewers. I think we are going to get there soon. I don't think it's going to happen tonight because the haters have already caused significant damage to this live stream. They have, okay? They have caused significant damage to this live stream, so I don't think we're going to be able to get to 7,000 tonight. 7,000 subscribers, that's okay. There's one more thing I want to talk about, which I did not discuss previously. There is a U.S. Senate race in Michigan. I've talked about the U.S. Senate race in Wisconsin, in Ohio, in West Virginia, in Montana, in Nevada, in Arizona, in Pennsylvania. I think I also briefly talked about, the fact that Larry Hogan is running for U.S. Senate in Maryland, but I have not talked about the U.S. Senate race in Michigan. There is a possibility that we may win the U.S. Senate race in Michigan. That is something that I have not talked about on this channel yet. I'm doing it right now. The U.S. Senate race in Michigan is between Democrat Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin and former Republican Congressman Mike Rogers. That's why I asked that question tonight in the live chat. You can see the poll question. The question is, who do you think will be the winner of the U.S. Senate race in Michigan? Is it going to be Republican candidate Mike Rogers or Democrat candidate Elissa Slotkin? So the RCP average right now shows that Slotkin is leading. The Democrat is leading. But my friends, that doesn't mean that she is going to win. Alyssa Slotkin is at 48.6%. Mike Rogers is at 45.1%. This is according to the RCP average. So Slotkin is up by 3.5 percentage point. But if Trump wins Michigan, and if every Trump voter in Michigan also votes for Mike Rogers, then Rogers would win this. I mean, it is possible. It is possible, my friends. It is possible. I've said this in case of Arizona and Nevada. You know, in Arizona, in the U.S. Senate race, when you look at the polls, you'll see that Kari Lake is behind, but Donald Trump is ahead in Arizona. So if every Trump voter also votes for Kari Lake, then Kari Lake can win the U.S. Senate race. Same in Nevada. Sam Brown is behind in the polls, but Trump is ahead in Nevada. So if every Trump voter in Nevada also votes for Republican U.S. Senate candidate Sam Brown, then we can win that Senate seat in Nevada. All right. Let's see. And so, my friends, if I think Trump's going to win Michigan because Trump has tremendous support from the Muslim community in Michigan, from the Muslim community, highly respected, and these are Donald Trump's words. He said, highly respected Muslim leaders. Highly respected Muslim leaders in Michigan. They stood on stage during a rally. They stood next to Donald Trump on stage. They endorsed Donald Trump. And so if Trump wins Michigan, every Trump voter in Michigan, if they vote for Trump and they also vote for the Republican U.S. Senate candidate in Michigan, then we can win. The Republicans can win that U.S. Senate seat in Michigan. If that happens, it's going to be really wonderful. All that the Michigan voters will have to do is just get out and vote for Trump. And when you vote for Trump, also vote for the Republican U.S. Senate candidate, Mike Rogers. Okay, vote for Mike Rogers. We can win that seat. It is going to be a massive surprise on election night if Mike Rogers wins Michigan, the Senate race. That's just going to be so wonderful. Now, I understand that the Real Clear polling average shows that Harris is ahead in Michigan by 0.8 points. 0.8. I mean, it's less than 1. 0.8. Harris is up, but it's a very slim lead. And so Trump could win Michigan, especially with the support from the Muslim leaders in that state. Trump could win in Michigan. And so if Trump can win in Michigan, and if every Trump voter also votes for Mike Rogers, then not only will Trump get the Electoral College votes from Michigan, but Mike Rogers will also win the U.S. Senate seat. Okay, so it is a possibility, my friends. Dana is here. Hello, Dana. Thanks for being here. As I'm talking, I miss a bunch of comments, I think. So I have to scroll back. Dana is here. Dana, good to see you. All right. Emily, thank you for your wonderful, wonderful comment. What can I say? Emily is expressing love here. Thanks, Emily. Thank you. I'm just so overwhelmed because of all the wonderful compliments and love that I get. I really appreciate that. Dana writes, you got a haircut, looks fabulous. Yes, Dana, I did get a haircut. Thank you so very much. All right. Dana also likes my combination, right? The black and the brown. Sassy writes Trump and then red, white, and blue. Thank you, Sassy. Turbo writes Trump 2024. Uh, so my friends, it's really wonderful doing this live stream, doing a live stream every night. It's wonderful to be in front of you and to speak and to share my thoughts. And really, I mean, think about it for a second. This is live, okay? So I come before you. Usually I have some thoughts in my mind, obviously, that, what am I going to talk about? Which is why I come up with the titles, right? I mean, today's title says Rising Anticipation Nationwide, High Voter Turnout in Battlegrounds, and an Opportunity in Michigan. So obviously I knew before I started this live stream the topics that I wish to discuss. But over the course of the conversation, when I see your comments, we discuss many other things. When I see your questions, I try to respond to those. So it's not just the things that I have in mind before I start the live stream, but we talk about so many different things over the course of the live stream. And this is very genuine. This is very authentic because this is not pre-recorded. This is live. And whatever I'm saying, it's on record, it's live, and I have to be able to defend everything that I say. I'm responsible for everything that I say. So this is just as genuine as a channel can be. This is genuine. I mean, you will find many channels on YouTube where you see videos that have been recorded and then they are published. Yes, you will see many live streams, but how many live streams do you find where somebody is talking about social and political issues, doing solo without any guest, and doing it for 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours? So this is really genuine. Okay? If I make a mistake, if I say something that's wrong, then it's on record. Okay? Maybe I have to come back and clarify and correct it, and I have to say, oh, what I said was wrong. But I'm responsible for the words that I say. So this is genuine, this is authentic, and this is a community. It's not like you'll see videos on YouTube where you see three people, 4 people sitting around in a living room or in a studio having conversation, or maybe they are in different locations and they are joining remotely and they are having a conversation. It's recorded, it's broadcasted. But this is me talking for 1 hour straight, 1.5 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours straight without any break. So this is very, very genuine, and I hope that you will continue to support me. Please support me. Help me get to 7,000 subscribers. Help me get to 10,000 subscribers. Can we do that? Aim higher. Can we get to 10,000 subscribers? I would love that. And because I talk so much, I get thirsty. Okay? Sometimes, I know you're probably thinking, like, he's like taking sips of water after every few sentences, because after you talk for 1 hour, 30 minutes straight, the throat becomes really dry. Paul writes 10,000 tomorrow. Paul, in order to reach 10,000 subscribers tomorrow, I have to get more than 3,000 subscriptions in a day. Is that going to happen? I mean, everything's possible, but that would be a record for me, at least. So anyway, my friends, thank you so very much for being here. I apologize if I missed responding to anyone's comments. I know lots of comments came in. Not possible for me to respond to each and every one. Not possible for me to read each and every comment. So I apologize if I missed responding to you, to your question, to your comment. But this is such an important time, my friends, in this country. The future is in our hands. So vote accordingly. If you have not voted, if you have voted already, great. I have voted already. If you have not voted, please vote knowing that the future of the world depends on your vote. Okay? I would say, I forgot this today. I would say vote for Trump. Make America great again. And I'm going to tell you tell you something that's very real. And many people run into this situation. Um, People look for a perfect candidate. There is no perfect candidate. You know why? You know why? Because um, the candidates are human beings. The candidates are human beings. So you will never find a perfect candidate. Even if you yourself run for office, if you yourself, you run for office and you say, oh, I'm running for office, I'm the perfect candidate. Because obviously you're going to like your own self, right? But even then, down the road, at some point, you'll realize, you know what? Now that I look back at what I did 2 years ago, maybe I could have done something differently. You know, every candidate, every political office holder, they have regrets. Okay? Some of them have many, some of them have few, but we all have regrets, even as human beings, right? I mean, if you could go back 10 years, if you could go back in time 10 years, is there something that you would do differently? Something, anything? I'm sure there is something that you wish that you did differently. Something that you said that you regret. Something that you should have said that you did not say. Something that you should have done that you did not do. Or something that you did that you think was wrong. We all have regrets. And so even if you are the candidate running for office, at some point you'll realize that you are not a perfect candidate. And so when you look at, because I have, I have conversations with people. Some people, they have made up their minds. They're going to vote for whoever is the Democrat nominee. Doesn't matter who it is. They just want to vote straight party line Democrat. They're going to vote for Democrat. Joe Biden on the ballot, Kamala Harris on the ballot, whoever's on the ballot, they're going to vote for that person. And there are others who are going to vote for Republicans no matter what. Just the opposite. They're going to vote for Donald Trump. Or, if it would have been Ron DeSantis as the nominee, they would have voted for DeSantis. If it would have been Tim Scott, the nominee, they would have voted for Tim Scott. They are just straight party line Republican voters. They are going to vote for Republicans. And there are those in the middle who maybe lean to one side, but they are open to being convinced to vote otherwise. Or maybe they lean to the right, but not 100%. Maybe if there's a Democrat candidate they like, maybe they'll switch and vote Democrat. We see these candidates on both sides, and that's why we say deep red or deep blue, and then leans red or leans blue. And there are those undecided voters who are, who are like, maybe they haven't made up their minds. And so I know that there are undecided voters, and some of them, they are looking for that perfect candidate. And so my entire point is that there is never going to be a perfect candidate. Even if you yourself run for office, you are going to find out that you are not a perfect candidate. We are human beings of flesh and blood. No one's perfect. Don't look for perfection. Don't look for perfection. Look for the candidate who you think is going to be able to bring about positive change. There's not going to be a perfect candidate. I mean, if you are a Democrat, ask yourself, do you agree with Kamala Harris on everything? No. Maybe you agree with her 9 out of 10 times. Maybe you agree with her 7 out of 10 times. But you cannot agree with Kamala Harris 100% of the time, no matter how strong a Democrat you are. Okay? Same on the Republican side. If you think that Ron DeSantis is your perfect candidate, he's not. If you think Nikki Haley is your perfect candidate, he is not. If you think Tim Scott is your perfect candidate, he is not. If you think that Donald Trump is your perfect candidate, like I said, no one's perfect. Even if you support Donald Trump, like, you're like a diehard supporter. You're wearing your MAGA hat, you're drinking coffee in your MAGA cup, you're wearing your Trump 2024 t-shirt, you're driving your vehicle, you've got the you've got the Trump 2024 bumper sticker. Even then, that you are not going to agree with Trump 100% of the time. Maybe 99%, but it's still not going to be 100%. Because you will never have a candidate who you think is like 100%. There's no flaw. This individual is flawless. Like I said, even if you run for office, you will realize that you yourself, you're not the perfect candidate. So what is important here? What is important, my friends? Look for the person who you think is honest. It's not going to be flawless. Look for a candidate who you think is going to tell you the truth. Somebody who's not going to sugarcoat stuff. Somebody who is going to make promises and try to fulfill those promises. Somebody who is willing to admit a mistake. Okay, a candidate who is, who can come out and say, oh, I made this mistake. I should have done something differently. Look for that candidate. And then look at the person's record. If you have no political affiliation, I would just ask you to look at the last 4 years of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, and you will know why you should not vote for Kamala Harris. Look at the 4 years of Trump. Maybe you did not agree with Trump 100% of the time. Maybe you agreed with Trump only 70% of the time. But still, overall, do you think he did a good job? Do you think he fulfilled his promises or made honest efforts to fulfill those promises? You're not going to like Kamala Harris's foreign policy 100% of the time. You're not going to agree with Kamala Harris's domestic policy 100% of the time. Same with Trump. You're not going to agree with Trump's foreign policy 100%. You're not going to agree with Trump's domestic policy 100%, but you still have to see who is capable, who you can trust, somebody who's going to really take the oath of office seriously, somebody who is going to work hard to make America great again. Okay? Does that make sense to you? I mean, I don't want to sound like a philosopher, although I've studied philosophy. I've got lots of philosophy books. But I'm not trying to be a philosopher or I'm just trying to state the obvious facts. I'm trying to state the obvious facts. You have to look at the bigger picture. You have to look at the bigger picture. Okay? So Undecided voters, make a decision. Now is the time. Make a decision. If you are undecided, make a decision. You don't know who you're going to vote for, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, because you think none of them are perfect. Well, look at their policies, look at their history. Who do you think you can trust? Who do you think can get the job done? The job of making America great again. Who do you think can strengthen our relationship with our allies? Who do you think can secure the border? Who do you think is going to be a law and order president? I think it's going to be Donald Trump. I think it's going to be Donald Trump. Okay? I really think it is going to be Donald Trump, and so I voted for him. If Trump ever says something that you don't agree with, fine. Do you agree with your sibling 100% of the time? Do you agree with your father or your mother or your favorite uncle or your favorite aunt? Do you agree with your best friend, your childhood friend? Do you agree with that person 100% of the time? You don't. You have to look at the bigger picture and make decisions accordingly. And that's why, my friends, I made an informed decision back in 2016 to vote for Trump. I made an informed decision in 2020 to vote for Trump. I made an informed decision in 2024 to vote for Trump. That's what I did. It is time to make up your mind if you have not done so already. Don't look for the perfect candidate. Don't look for someone who you're going to agree with 100% of the time. Look for someone who you think is going to work hard and really take the oath of office seriously. Okay? Somebody who is going to look at the best interest of the American people. Make that decision, my friend. Make that decision. It is time. So, election day is coming. I will try to do as many live streams as I can between now and election day. I'll try to do live streams on election day if possible. I don't want to promise ahead of time, but I think all of you understand how seriously committed I am to this community, to this channel. So I will live stream as much as possible, and I need your support, okay? Today the haters really suppressed, and once the views go down, once you lose the momentum on a channel, you can live stream for hours. It's not going to go back up. And that's what happened today. They suppressed my views in the first half hour. So here we are. Not enough views, but still, like I said, doesn't matter. If it's just 10 people, 5 people, 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, I will talk to you. That's what I did. I know very few people are watching right now, but all those who are watching, they are very important to me because they are giving me something that is precious. They are giving me their time. They are taking time out of their schedule, out of their life to spend time with me, to listen to me. So I value each and every one of you. Every minute that you spend time listening to me, that's a minute of your life that you have decided to spend listening to what I have to say. And so for that, I am tremendously grateful. Trust me, I am. I understand. Time is limited. Time is finite. You cannot produce more time. We have limited time in our lifetime. And every moment that you spend here on this channel, conversing with this community, I am grateful for that moment that you're spending. So I appreciate your time. I really do. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, you are here supporting this channel. Thank you so very much. So my friends, I'm going to wrap up the poll question. Okay, let's see the answers here. The question is, who do you think will be the winner of the U.S. Senate race in Michigan? Okay, is it going to be Mike Rogers or Alyssa Slotkin? How many people voted? 218 people voted. 71% said Mike Rogers. 28% said Alyssa Slotkin. Thank you so very much, my friends. The question was, who do you think will be the winner of the U.S. Senate race in Michigan? 218 people voted. 71% said Republican Mike Rogers. Only 28% said Democrat Alyssa Slotkin. So thank you for that. Obviously, Mike Rogers won. I am hoping Mike Rogers wins the actual election so that we can have a Republican U.S. Senator from Michigan. So with that, my friends, thank you so very much for joining. I will be back again. Stay tuned for more videos, more live streams, more content. Thank you so very much. Please support this channel. Subscribe, like, and share my videos. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, my friends. I'll be back again soon. Trump 2024. Let's make America great again. Thank you, my friends. Have a good night.